Today we've got a video that is 7 future WWE stars who ruined their careers. The algorithm brought you to me, so guess what? I'm going to keep you company for at least 15 minutes. Are you fine with that? Are you okay with that? You and me spending quality time? The chat's right here, so don't do nothing weird. They see you. They see you even when you're sleeping. It's getting spooky around here. If you'd like to support the original uploader of this content, you know where to go. Click the top link in the description. Show them some love, please, and thank you. They work hard on their videos. If you'd like to react to content with us live on Twitch, you know where to find them. Like, come on. I got playlists all over the channel as well, so if you need, a reaction or a video to pass some time that is just the right length for you, why don't you click around? You might find something you like. I don't know. Either way, I'm trying to reach 20,000 subscribers, so if you would like to subscribe because you like the vibe around here, I'm not going to tell you no, but I guess you're allowed to subscribe. I guess I might just say hi. Say hi. Don't be weird. If you're a youngin', get out of here. I don't make content for bullet ones. I react using colorful language, and I don't want you getting in trouble. Want to know why? Because I'm not being responsible for your little ass. So scram, beat it, skedaddle, yeah. With that being said, it's time to get started. You ready? I'm ready. Little ones, get out of here. I'm not going to tell you again.
Have you ever seen the movie A Bronx Tale? It just might have slid under the radar of all the great mafia content we were getting in the 90s, but believe me, it is well worth your time. One line that sticks with me is when Robert De Niro's character Lorenzo tells his son Calogero that the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. And it's true. The best stories in wrestling are the ones when people figure out how to use their gifts to rise to the top of the industry. And some of the worst stories are when unlimited potential goes unrealized. People who have all the tools in the world get sidelined by bad decisions. I'm Senior Siete for 7 Rasslin. Let's take a look at 7 future WWE stars who totally blew it.
I was not ready for that.
This list did become WWE stars, but we think they would have been much bigger names if they had done things differently. Take, for example, number 1, Marty Jannetty. I was pretty pleasantly surprised when Jey Uso won the 2025 Royal Rumble this past weekend. I know it was a controversial pick, but it's about time we had a genuine surprise entrant take the whole thing. I mean, it's always a little weird when out of the 30 dudes out there, only 1 or 2 of them seem to have an actual shot at winning. But Jey earned it. With the exception of last year's Mania, he tends to deliver a good match. His entrances are a highlight of every show he's on, and it seems like every other kid in the audience has some kind of Yeet merchandise on. And when it's an already jam-packed main event scene, it's nice to see them still trying to make some new stars. That, and it pretty much cements what we already knew. Jey is the Shawn Michaels. Jimmy's going to be the Marty Jannetty. Now, odds are you are very familiar with one of those names, and there might be quite a few of you who are drawing blanks at the other. Well, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, the tag team specialists known as the Rockers, were wildly popular due to the...
Yeah, that Oos versus Oos match, I'm not going to lie, that drained any hype I had for them fellas for a very long time. Yeah. We were definitely not pleased when we watched that on stream. Not gonna lie. Ooh.
Their fast-paced, high-flying wrestling style that helped pave the way for modern tag team wrestling. Over the course of their time together, the duo gained a reputation as one of the most exciting and energetic teams of their era. At a time when heavyweight, power-based wrestling dominated, their innovative style stood out. The team would split up in 1992 after an ill-fated trip to a barbershop, with Michaels going on to become Sherry Martel's boy toy and Marty trying his hand at being a solo babyface. Before the split, many people saw way more singles potential in Jannetty than they would in Michaels, and those people would be very wrong. Shawn would go on to become one of the best wrestlers of all time, winning every title the WWE had to offer, main eventing several WrestleManias, and performing in some truly amazing matches. A back injury would drive him into retirement in 1998, but he'd come back 4 years later and have a second half to his career that would eclipse the impressive first half. When it's all said and done, Michaels would retire in the main event of WrestleMania after yet another stellar match, never to wrestle again. And Marty? Marty, unfortunately,
should have
Marty
never
battled
came back.
substance abuse problems throughout his career, which led to multiple suspensions and missed opportunities in the WWE. While Michaels transitioned into the Heartbreak Kid and became one of the WWE's top stars, Jannetty never truly evolved behind the Rocker's persona. He remained a great in-ring worker, but lacked a strong character or gimmick that could push him to that next level. Jannetty had a stop-start run in WWE. He won the Intercontinental title in 1993, but quickly lost it and was released shortly afterwards due to his personal issues. He'd be hired and fired several times over the years due to his backstage problems. So now, whenever a tag team is featured prominently on WWE TV,
He's been crashing out on Facebook for years? No! Not in the old head arena, no!
it's a bit of a pastime to predict who will be the Michaels and who will be the Jannetty. Sometimes it's easy. Jeff was always the more charismatic Hardy Boy. With Edge's size and looks, he was clearly going to get more opportunities than Christian. But when it's twins, yikes, that's gotta hurt. Number 2, Matt Riddle. Former UFC fighter Matt Riddle.
I don't even know what the fuck happened to Matt Riddle. He definitely was like in and then out. By the time I got back into watching wrestling, I was like, what happened to him?
Seemed to have so much potential. He was great in the ring. He was built like friggin' Tarzan. He had a unique gimmick, that of the stoner who could totally wreck you if you wanted to. Riddle gained recognition competing in the Ultimate Fighter 7. He fought in the UFC from 2008 to 2013, amassing an 8-3 record with 2 no contests before being released due to multiple failed drug tests for marijuana. Shocker. After leaving MMA, Riddle trained in professional wrestling, making his debut in 2014. He quickly became a standout in the independent promotions such as Evolve, PWG, and Progress Wrestling. His technical skills, charisma, and laid-back bro persona earned him a strong following. In 2018, Riddle signed with the WWE, where he proved to be the king of the wacky mismatched tag teams, winning the NXT Tag Team Championships with Pete Dunne in a team known as the Broserweights, and the Raw Tag Team titles with Randy Orton as part of a unit known as RK Bro. And when Riddle entered into a white-hot feud with Seth Rollins that culminated him winning in the main event of the 2022 Extreme Rules pay-per-view, it seemed like the World Championship could be in his future. Unfortunately, Mr. Riddle had a few problems. First of all, he didn't quite know when to keep his mouth shut. Yeah, wrestling is a business that's built on big characters and braggadocious behavior, but it's also a partnership, so maybe don't call out people unless they're expecting it. Riddle ran into issues with this with some of the bigger names in the company. After saying that he wanted to be the one to retire Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate told him in no uncertain terms that they would never work together. The only time they did interact in the ring was when Brock unceremoniously tossed Riddle out of the 2022 Royal Rumble and then squished him like a bug at the following month's Elimination Chamber. He called out Goldberg after his horrific performance against The Undertaker at the 2019 Super Showdown event, which, in Riddle's defense, he's got a point there. This led to a back...
Whoa. Oh, we. Oh, no. Oh, no. Whoa, we. Got all that. Steve, give me all that. You ain't retired yet? One of these. Sitting on a roll, one of these. I'm gonna admit. Damn.
Point there. This led to a backstage confrontation between the two at SummerSlam of that year. He said that Roman Reigns wasn't a real needle mover and that he could take him in a real fight, which is a dumb on a variety of levels. One, why say that about the top guy in the company who can crush your career? And two, who honestly cares who could win in a real fight? And when his mouth wasn't getting him in trouble, his questionable choices were. WWE reportedly lost faith in his long-term value due to his issues outside the ring. Riddle reportedly had multiple wellness policy violations, which led to him being sent to rehab and written off of TV. Riddle faced allegations of infidelity, substance abuse, and sexual misconduct, some of which became public.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had to get you up out of there, huh? I woke up one day and was like, I could beat Roman Reigns' ass. I could whoop Roman Reigns' ass right now. If it was real, The pro definitely got high and reached for his phone.
Public due to his ex-partner's social media posts. And in September of 2023, Riddle was involved in a controversy at JFK Airport in New York. He accused a Port Authority police officer of sexual harassment in a now-deleted Instagram post. However, reports indicated that Riddle was acting disorderly at the airport and was possibly intoxicated. He would be released from his WWE contract a few days later.
Oh, for real?
Number 3, Abyss. I'm not much of a TNA guy. I think the peak for my interest in that company was when AJ Styles and Samoa Joe were setting the world on fire back in the summer of 2005. Add Christopher Daniels to that mix and a three-way, and baby, you got a stew going. And I appreciated Abyss, one of the most dominant big men in the company's history. Known for his hardcore wrestling style, he was always good for a wild brawl or in extreme, brutal matches involving barbed wire, thumbtacks, glass, weapons. That mask, man, I just couldn't get past that mask. Seriously, why would you immediately invite comparisons to Mick Foley's famous look? Nonetheless, Abyss remained one of TNA's most iconic homegrown stars, known for his insane matches, dedication to some unique storytelling, and loyalty to the promotion. However, it is this loyalty that may have cost him the biggest opportunity of his career. In 2006, the WWE came calling with an offer for Abyss to feud with The Undertaker in a storyline that would have the Monster debuting at the 2007 Royal Rumble and would continue with a one-on-one match with the Dead Man at WrestleMania 23. But Abyss turned it down, instead choosing to stay with TNA. To his credit, Abyss claims to have no regrets. In an interview with Wrestling Incorporated, he said, "If it would have happened, obviously it would have been a career highlight, no doubt, but it wasn't in the cards. I chose to stay with TNA, and I said it before, and we'll say it again. TNA was and is my home. Impact is my home. This company has done great things for me, personally and professionally, over the last 16 years. Which is very nice. We don't know.
I do respect that, like being a company guy. Because that's how you get the lifelong tenures, like the legend of The Undertaker in WWE. So, fellas, stand faithful, stand loyal. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I did hear that he's a producer in WWE now. That's cool. That's really cool. I respect it. You gotta stay with the ship until it sinks all the way, type beat.
Always have to chase money and fame. If he's happier there, who are we to say anything? Rene Dupree floated an alternate theory on his Cafe du Rene podcast where he wondered if Abyss's reason for not accepting the role was because there was nowhere to go but down after a WrestleMania loss to The Undertaker. But that seems extremely short-sighted because 1, Abyss would get a fat WrestleMania paycheck, 2, he'd get to ply his trade in front of 74,000 fans at Ford Field, and 3, you know who lost their debut WrestleMania match to The Taker and went on to bigger things? This guy. Instead, Abyss stayed in TNA and got to pretend that Hulk Hogan's WWE Hall of Fame ring had some kind of magic powers. Number 4, Ahmed.
I do feel bad. I do feel bad that Tyson Kidd got smoked the way he did. It was like a Samoa Joe, right? Was that finisher? Fatima?
Johnson. On July 4th, 1993, Lex Luger would shed his arrogant narcissist persona in exchange for a flag-waving, made-in-the-USA gimmick. This point would be hammered home when he body-slammed Yokozuna on the deck of the USS Intrepid. This led to a cross-country bus tour known as the Lex Express that was intended to turn the former Total Package into the new Hulk Hogan. Didn't work. Either Lex wasn't the right guy, or the decision to wait until WrestleMania to put the belt on him cooled him off too much. At any rate, the decision was made to put the belt back on Bret Hart and then go from there. Luger would bounce around the upper mid-card, eventually forming a tag team with the British Bulldog, known as the Allied Powers, before finally bailing and making a move that would show WWE that WCW was not messing around in the Monday Night Wars. Luger made a shocking return to WCW on the premiere episode of Monday Nitro on September 4th, 1995, just one night after wrestling at a WWE live event. His defection was one of the first major shots fired in the battle between WWE and WCW. To counter this, Vince McMahon quickly took the heat out of Luger's crowning WWE achievement, body slamming Yokozuna, by giving it to a newcomer, Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson debuted in the WWE in 1995, quickly making an impact with his incredible size, power, and intensity. His unmatched physique and raw aggression made him a fan favorite, and the sheer ease with which he seemed to slam Yokozuna showed that the company was ready to invest in him for a big, long time. In his debut pay-per-view, Survivor Series 1995, he, Shawn Michaels, and the British Bulldog survived in the only wildcard match in the show's history, with Johnson picking up impressive pinfall victories over both Owen Hart and former champion Yokozuna. His early success culminated in winning the Intercontinental Championship at the King of the Ring in June of 1996, making him the first African American to hold that title. However, shortly after winning the belt, he suffered a serious kidney injury that forced him to vacate the belt. His injuries continued to pile up, making it difficult for WWE to rely on him as a long-term top star. While Johnson had an undeniable physical presence, his wrestling skill was often criticized. He was powerful but lacked technical finesse and could be very reckless, leading to botched moves and potential injuries to himself and others. Reports from the time suggest that Ahmed Johnson had issues backstage with both WWE management and other wrestlers. He was known for being stiff in the ring, leading to tensions with opponents. One such incident revolved around him supposedly lacerating Ron Simmons' liver with a kick that put the respected ring veteran out of action for 9 months.
Yo. How hard you have to kick someone in the liver to straight up just is unsafe for 9 months. You cannot come back for 9 fucking months, man. A baby could be formed. A baby could be fucking spawned in the time bro had to go out of there because he got kicked that hard. Jeez.
On the Stone Cold podcast, Mark Henry would describe what happened the first time Simmons and Johnson locked up after Simmons' return. It was not a lockup, it was a mauling. Ron ran through him. His back hit the ground, Ron stomped on his stomach, and when he rolled over and tried to get up, Ron kicked him in the ribs and broke 3 of his ribs. It was like watching a tiger or a lion attack some helpless animal in the wild, and Ron pinned him. Ahmed Johnson was over his hell during that time. 6 months later, done. He got killed off in one night. That night that Ron came back and whipped his ass, his run was over. He was never the same again. He had to leave. On his Grilling JR podcast, Jim Ross would say, Ahmed was no fun to be around. He had a hard time telling the truth. He said things that were maybe partially true, but they weren't things that could clearly be determined truthful or not. When he left, there was no celebration, there was no parade. I think there was a relief that finally a real negative element had been removed from the locker room.
Ew.
Over the course of just a few years, Johnson went from someone Vince McMahon had penciled in to become a world champion to being completely out of the company. Number 5, Mark Jindrak. The most dominant faction of the Ruthless Aggression era has got to be Evolution, made up of the legendary yet past his prime 16-time world champion, the Nature Ric Flair, and one of the most pushed stars of that day, Triple H. The group was designed to elevate younger stars. First name was Randy Orton. The third-generation star was seen as a can't-miss prospect and was a shoo-in for that third slot. And that final slot, well, we all know how the story turns out. Dave Bautista would become the muscle for the group, eventually becoming the group's breakout star. The fans would cheer him on to the main event of WrestleMania 21, where he would upend his mentor Triple H to become one of the most popular guys in the company. But for a little while there, when Batista was out with an injury, it looked like they were going to launch the faction with a new fourth man, that being former Natural Born Thriller, Mark Jindrak. Don't believe me? Check out these early shots from what would go on to be their entrance video. Kind of weird, right?
He looks like a bunch of little kids in us and stacked on top of each other. The little ass head, man. What the fuck? He looks like, Randy is definitely looking like the fucking Will Smith's character in the Men in Black cartoon, though. Oh man, definitely looking like Jay. Nah, that's crazy.
Like a peek into an alternate universe.
Yo, his head is his hat is too small. His head is too small. What's going on here? What's happening? You don't look right. You don't look right. Little head ass.
There's a great in-depth look at how things almost went down in the WWE's Ruthless Aggression 2 series. In it, Triple H says that Jindrak just didn't take the business seriously and that it seemed like he and Orton were bad influences on each other. To hear Triple H tell the story, they were in a car ride together and Orton and Jindrak were constantly goofing off in the back seat to the point that Triple H was ready to throw them out. During a subsequent trip without Jindrak, Orton was great. So let's rewind a bit and I'll repeat that. Somebody was a bad influence on Randy Orton. You know, gym bag Randy, filthy handshake Randy, trashing hotel rooms Randy. And Jindrak owns up to this. During an episode of the Cafe du Rene podcast, he'd say, "We goofed off too much, chased girls too much. They were right to split us up because we probably would have continued. And as soon as they split us up, he took it a little more seriously and he was a world champion not long."
Damn. What? Man. I mean, it's cool that he's taking accountability, though. It's like, the fuck. It's his shit.
Afterwards. In my visual of how this would have gone if Jindrak had been the fourth member, I'd see an angry Triple H, Mr. Wilson, chasing around two little Dennis the Menaces. Anyhow, Jindrak would stick around for a little bit in the WWE undercard before being released in July of 2005. Number 6, Sexy Star.
Ah, shit. We knew this one was coming. She's on the W. We knew this one was coming. Ah, shit.
We truly live in a wonderful age of women.
Mommy. It's been 21 minutes and you haven't subscribed yet. You should probably subscribe. We're watching you. Click the button. Go ahead. I'll wait. Well, that's off of it.
Wrestling. Names like Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton are making headlines in the WWE. The NXT Women's Division is arguably one of the best overall divisions in all of professional wrestling. Toni Storm and Mariah May are in the hottest storyline in AEW and are probably going to main event the Grand Slam show in Australia. And through all of this international talent getting their chance to shine, you've got Asuka, Io Sky, Julia, Stephanie Vacour making big names for themselves. But one name that was huge in Mexico and the United States in the mid to late 2010s, who, due to her own actions, will probably never get a shot on the big stage, is Sexy Star. Sexy Star is a former Mexican luchadora, boxer, and mixed martial artist. She gained international fame through her time in pro wrestling, where she made history as one of the most prominent female competitors in lucha libre. Sexy Star quickly became a household name in AAA, competing against some of the biggest stars in Mexican wrestling. She was known for her high-flying maneuvers, technical ability, and fearlessness in intergender matches. Her success extended beyond Mexico as she gained international recognition, particularly when she joined the cast of Lucha Underground in the United States. It was there where she became the first woman to win the Lucha Underground Championship, a feat rarely accomplished in the male-dominated wrestling promotion. Her victory solidified her as one of the top female wrestlers of all time. Her career would quickly come to a halt when she was accused of intentionally injuring Rosemary during a match at Triple Mania 25 on August 26, 2017. Sexy Star won a four-way match by submission via armbar, but she allegedly applied too much pressure on Rosemary's arm and held the submission too long after the tap out. This led to widespread outrage, with many in the wrestling.
So fucked up, man. That's so fucked up. Someone trusts you with their body for the performance and like you fucking go like rogue like that. Like, what the fuck is that? Was there ever explanation as to what the fuck that was about? Why did she do that?
Community accusing her of turning a scripted match into a real attack. Initially, reports suggested Rosemary suffered a hyperextended or dislocated elbow, but it was later confirmed to be a strained bicep and tricep. But the backlash was swift. AAA stripped Sexy Star of her title, and she was effectively blackballed from major wrestling promotions, including being left out of Lucha Underground's 4th season despite a prominent role in the previous one. While Sexy Star eventually addressed the controversy, her response only fueled the anger against her. Sexy Star didn't accept any responsibility for the incident and doubted whether or not Rosemary was injured at all. The outpouring of support for Rosemary included prominent names in North American wrestling such as Paige, Road Dogg Jesse James, and this guy. Yeah, he probably has some pull. Number 7, Buddy Landell. When you say the name Nature Boy to most wrestling fans, they're going to tell you about Ric Flair, the wheeling, dealing, kiss-stealing, limousine riding, jet flying, getting into fights with pizzeria owner, son of a gun. Some will tell you about Buddy Rogers, the man who inspired Ric Flair with his cocky attitude, flashy attire, and his figure 4 leg lock. But a third Nature Boy used to ply his trade in the ring as well, and a lot of top guys thought he was going to be the next big thing. Buddy Landell is often cited as a wrestler whose immense potential was never fully realized. His career, marked by significant achievements, was equally marred by personal challenges and decisions that hindered his ascent to greater stardom. Buddy was discovered by Ric Flair himself when he was working for various promotions, and Rick encouraged him to join Jim Crockett Promotions in the mid-'80s. The plan was to set up a Battle of the Nature Boys that could take place after Ric Flair was done with his feuds with Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, and Nikita Koloff. However, interested in how the program would go, a bout between Flair and Landell was booked for shows in North Carolina, where it appeared that Landell had won the NWA title from Flair, only to have the belt returned to Flair on a technicality. The buzz from this bout resulted in a sold-out house for the next match. Unfortunately, this story is going to go the same way a lot of the stories in this go, with Buddy Landell's in-ring prowess playing second fiddle to his problems with drugs and alcohol. He would be fired after missing a set of TV tapings where he was scheduled for a big angle. Jim Cornette would describe working with Landell as there being good buddy and bad buddy. Good buddy was among the best in-ring talents in the world, while bad buddy would vanish for weeks at a time while partying.
That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate, man. He got too lost in the sauce. It seems like I'm not familiar with this guy at all, but it is like a tale as old as time, right? Like, fuck, you get in a good position and then you just can't keep control of yourself. That's sad to hear, man. He def had some like names backing him too, like Flair and Jim Cornette are not nobodies. Like.
Example of Bad Buddy was when Cornette had booked him in an I Quit match against Tim Horner. Landell and Horner didn't quite get along, so Landell no-sold all of Horner's offense, and when Horner locked him in a submission hold, the referee would hold a microphone to Landell's face to see if he was ready to submit. Instead, Buddy started singing Moon River. Cornette fired him immediately afterwards for exposing the business.
Oh no. Why'd you do that? Did it hit at that time? Why'd you do that? No. No, that's not even good now. Why'd you do that?
Well, there's our list. Did we forget any other future stars who blew it? If so, please leave their names in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and figure 4-leg lock that notification bell. Till next time, I'm Singer Siete for 7 Rasslin saying bye-bye.
A man is goated. Seven Rasslin is goated. I always learn something when I watch one of these videos, because I definitely do have gaps in my wrestling knowledge, so you gotta understand. Also, Yiddies, damn. Fitty's on the thumbnail, please, honey. Wow, wait a minute, hold on, If you guys would like to support the original upload of the content, please click the top link in the description. Don't be a weenie. Show them love if you haven't yet. I don't say that for my own health. You really have to go support these people. They're making the content. I'm just here in the background. If you want to react to content with us live on Twitch, you know where to go. I don't got to tell you how to do all that. We got playlists you can check out if you want more content. So, yeah. Don't be a weenie. Find something to watch. Matter of fact, I'll wait here for you. Look, I'll be calm this time, right? I've been attacking you guys recently. Let me stop. Click something. I would very much enjoy if you clicked something. If you found something on the channel to watch that you liked. Would that not be cool? If you were to find content to continue our watching session together? You and I hanging out here on YouTube. I'm totally not unstable in tracking you right now. Go ahead, click something. I'll wait. Click something. That's a good video. The one with my face on it. Click that. I'm just dragging this out, so this video was 30 minutes long, to be honest with you.